Welcome to the Inside Track on Real Estate with the Dekker Team. And today I'm with Ryan Dekker.
Hello.
Chip off the old block. And I'm Ken Dekker. And we're going to talk about all kinds of things around wealth because we're passionate about helping people build wealth. Isn't that right?
We're committed to it.
Committed. That's a strong word.
It is a strong word.
Let's talk about committed for a little bit since we're just after New Year's and possibly, just possibly, one or two of you in the listening audience has made a New Year's resolution. That's where we make a commitment to change, right? To doing something different with our life, our time, our habits, whatever.
And if you were listening last week, me and my mom, Yetta, were talking about habits and what a cornerstone habit is. And so if you haven't listened to that, I would definitely go back and listen to it.
But don't leave the show right now.
But don't leave the show. Just wait. Just wait. Listen to this one first. Because this will give you the commitment piece.
Okay.
And when you have commitment to something, then it's a big difference. So do you want to talk about commitment first? Yeah?
I do.
Okay.
I do, because commitment's a huge thing. Like I'm committed to my marriage.
That's good.
I'm committed to, what's the word for fidelity? For not being faithful, For being faithful? What's the word for that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, whatever. So I'm committed to loyalty to my partner. Now, can you imagine if I was 99% committed?
That'd be awful.
Yeah, because that means, well, let's see, a year is 365 days. That means about 3.6 days a year I could be unfaithful to my wife. I don't think that would work for our marriage. So 99% commitment is not good enough, right? 100% commitment is required in some areas of our life.
Yeah. So let me dive into that even a little deeper. Deeper. So with that commitment, not only is it important you're committed, because if you weren't 100% committed, there'd be big issues.
Right.
But I'm going to use an alarm clock for an example, because most of us have an alarm clock. Not everyone. Most of us.
I have one.
You have one. And in the morning, are you 100% committed or 99% committed to getting up at that time every day?
That depends on the day.
Okay. So we would call that 99% committed, right?
Okay.
And when you wake up, is your first thought, okay, got to get up, let's go? Or is your first thought, should today be the day that is that 1% I get to hit the snooze button?
Yes, could be.
Could be.
And yet, what I've done is my alarm clock it's really a stereo system, and it's tuned to CHRI 99.1. So I don't want to turn it off because I'm listening to great music and great talk and that sort of thing. We used to set it at 5:30 and listen to Focus on the Family, and now we set it at 5, so I don't get to listen to Focus on the Family anymore. And yet, what I did was that stereo is totally across the other side of the room.
I'd say that's automatic commitment, isn't it?
Tough to hit the snooze button. Now, I can sleep through it, though, if I choose to.
So what's interesting about that is, especially the people who leave the alarm clock close to them, is they have this battle, this inner battle of, should I get up, should I not get up? And you use a lot of energy and a lot of emotion early. And so not only are you, maybe not going to do what you're committed to when you're 99, but you also waste a lot of energy. Even if you stay committed, even if you stay faithful, you're still wasting valuable energy, valuable focus. I don't know if I said my word right.
Yeah.
Valuable focus. And it, 100% commitment's so easy. All of a sudden it's like, oh, I got to get up. Okay, I'm up. Oh, I got to be faithful. I'm faithful. Oh, I'm going to be married. I will be married. And it becomes really easy.
So there isn't any internal dialogue, struggle. There's no energy used up for it. It's kind of like environment stronger than willpower. If I put my alarm clock far away, I don't need as much willpower to hit the snooze button because I got to get my feet on the cold floor and get my derriere out of bed. And I'm already up. I might as well hit the shower or do whatever I need to do in the morning.
Day.
Right.
So, I mean, that's another piece, right? The whole environment, but you can be committed to creating that environment.
Right.
So I'm committed to eating healthy. So we don't buy the junk food. It doesn't come in the door. And if someone brings it, we give it away as gifts. So it's, and it's not that we don't like junk food. It's we know if we leave it in the house, we will consume it. Right. And I don't want to have to, have this willpower and this like gritting of my teeth for everything I'm committed to. So it's much easier to change your environment.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Excellent. And so what else about commitment?
Do we want to tie this into investing? Or do we want to wait for that?
We could tie it into investing because this is a real estate show.
It is. And that's the other part of our show we want to cover today is investing. And even more so, how do you stay committed to building wealth for your family? How do you, what does that even look like?
What systems or models can you put in place?
And what things can you do automatically, meaning create your environment?
So you then don't have to think about it.
And you don't have to grit your teeth like, I'm going to be a great investor.
So you make the decision once, and the decision makes you because you put systems in place. Yeah. Cool. I think the show's over. That's awesome.
Okay. See you guys next week.
Well, I guess we do have a little more time. Okay. Maybe we can give them some more information.
So automatic investing, some people are like, yeah, of course I do that every day. And other people are like, what? What do you mean invest automatically? Don't I go and have this big discussion every time I invest, or don't I just give it to my financial planner and let him do it? That's automatic. Okay, that's not what we're talking about.
Okay, what are we talking about?
So what we're talking about is making great choices, understanding what you're investing in, because that's a big piece.
Right.
Most of the people I know that have lost big didn't understand what they were doing. And it became just this draining process, or there was things they should have put the brakes on, but they didn't know enough to put the brakes on, and they ended up losing a lot of money or losing a lot of sleep over it.
Okay, so you're saying they weren't monitoring it, or they didn't have the right person monitoring it? Because you can set something automatic that you're investing in something, but that something could be losing money and going bankrupt or something. You keep putting money into it. That's not a good idea either, right?
So that's not what I was saying, but that's brilliant. So not only do you need to set it, you can't forget it. You still need to monitor it.
Okay, so it's not like a slow cooker. You turn it on and you walk away and
well, maybe
40 years later you retire because it's full of money.
No, you want to be checking on it. And I don't mean every day or every hour, but every month you should be checking your investments to see what's going on.
So that would be a great time to look at those is when you're doing your net equity statement, where you're looking at what your assets are, what your liabilities are, and what your net equity is. And we have a form on the Wealth Formula website, which is wealth-formula.com or .ca. Either one will work. And on there is a spreadsheet, and it's got 12 months for your net equity statement where you can put in what are your investments worth. So that's a good time to check it. What's happening? Are they going up? Are they going down? Are the products you're in still where you should be in? Probably you might even want to talk to your financial planner once a month. That might drive them crazy because most people leave them alone. But I think that would be a great option if they're managing your asset, to connect with them once a month and just say, hey, are we still in the right investment? Is it producing?
Tell me about it. Educate me. And that's more what I mean is people don't necessarily learn enough up front and understand what they're investing in. So they might just say, okay, I want mutual fund, I want low risk or high risk, whatever, and they just throw it. But they don't go to learn, has this company done really well in the past? Who's managing it now? Have they had a shift recently? They don't take the time to fully understand. And I don't mean read every single detail, but understand what you're doing. Be able to explain it to your spouse. Be able to explain it to your kids.
Yeah, and right now, stock market, most of them are down 8-10% for year to date. And so that's not saying every stock is, but that's the indices. So if those are down and then your portfolio manager is charging 2-3% to manage your portfolio, which most of the mutual funds have built into them, that cost, so they're down even more quite often than the indice is.
Yeah. The index?
The index, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, and we're not trying to say that stocks and mutual funds are bad.
No.
We're just trying to say, understand what you're doing.
Yeah, and what I've heard is a lot of the big investment people, the pension fund managers, sorry, a lot of them are in cash right now. A lot of them are moving to real estate. They've got about a third of their portfolio in real estate type products. And whereas they used to be 100% or 90% into the market and 10% cash, now they're probably a third. Not exactly, but do you know what I mean? Like they're a little leery of being in the stock market right now.
And so real estate, we've talked about this on other shows. One of the things I love about it is that it is automatic. So if you've got a tenant and they're paying the mortgage, right? And you've got automatic pay down of the mortgage.
Right.
If you're in a strong market and it's going to go up, or it is going up, it doesn't always go up. However, over time we've seen it go up very strong year over year. So you've got the automatic growth of the property, and then you've got the cash flow of the property. So you're getting 3 incomes, and you may have to manage it or maybe get a manager.
Right.
And that those are automatic. So you stay committed to the process and then get into things that automatically grow for you.
Yeah. Now, some people have said to me, well, what about if I've got a real estate investment that actually doesn't cash flow? I'm paying $50 or $100 a month because the expenses are higher than the amount of rent I'm. Is that necessarily a bad investment, or can it still be a great investment?
So I want to be careful here, because it really depends on the person who owns the property. Because if you can't afford $100 or $50 a month, that's a terrible property.
If you can't afford it.
Yeah, if that's going to hurt you, don't do it. Also, if it doesn't hurt you, it's not a big deal. But also what I'm trying to say is you got to have some kind of cushion as well, because things happen. There could be a vacancy, there could be, a flood, there could be, and you have insurance for that, for the flood. But it still could cause a couple of months where you need some extra cash to fix it before the insurance company covers it.
So if someone has a high income, they're doing well, they buy a property because they think it's got future potential for development, or they just like the property, it's pretty or whatever, they want it in their portfolio, but it doesn't cash flow. Sometimes what I've found is, even if it's $100, $200 a month, if the mortgage pay down is $500, $1,000, $2,000 a month, depending on the size of the building, that's like money going in your bank account. So instead of $500 going in your bank account, $400 goes in. So and then you still have equity growth. So it's still not a bad investment.
And we use Topperty in order to calculate that.
Yes.
Topperty is my software company. And so if you haven't seen it, go to the website, topperty.com, topperty.com. And
short form for Top Property.
Yeah, that's right.
Very good.
And when you're working with the Dekker team to buy an investment property, they'll be using that so they can clearly show you how all the numbers work. And it's not this like, oh my goodness, I don't understand. No, it's really easy. There's a nice graph for you and a little chart. It's really simple, which is great, because you need to understand what you're investing in.
Beautiful. And if they want to get a taste of investing, not just real estate, but understanding RSPs, TFSAs, and that sort of thing, we have our wealth building workshop. It starts at 6 o'clock on January the 14th. It's the Thursday, second Thursday of the month, January 14th.
And what time is that?
6 o'clock.
Okay.
Now, it's $25 to register. They can register either by calling us or going through Eventbrite. And they're going to get a special gift.
If they come
There's a condition?
There's a condition
on this gift?
Yeah, if you are committed to showing up on time, 100% committed, meaning you have to actually be there on time.
Yes.
Then we will have a gift for you.
Excellent. And the traffic is a little heavy.
So you want to come early.
Yeah, because, bridge at that time. Yeah, Hunt Club Bridge. Anyways, you're going to call the Dekker team to register, 613-860-4663, or to get more information. And there's going to be a special gift for you. when you arrive on time or early. And they'll give you a chance to chat with us too, because we're always early, right? Because it would be really bad if the presenter wasn't there when the presentation begins, right?
And we're also there early because we want to see you and talk to you and connect with you. Yeah. And so if you want to connect with us, we're there for that reason.
Wonderful. Now, one of the things we're going to be talking about at the Wealth Building Workshop, which I'll let a cat out of the bag, is that okay?
For them? Yeah, we'll let this out for you guys.
Okay. So, there are student housing projects. One of the niche areas that there's a huge demand for is beds for university students. And I like this investment because it's somewhat, what's the word? Recession-proof. Because what happens when people lose their jobs, or people coming out of university can't get a job, or
they go back to school.
They go back to school, right? Yeah. So when in tougher times, more people go to university and stay in university longer. So there's this extreme shortage of beds right now, and most students, it's probably about 10% of the students can go and stay on residence on campus, and most of those beds are reserved for year one students because they want to get them in and settled, because they know they'll find their own accommodation year two if they're coming back, if they're committed to the university. And so where they're staying is in rooms. There's 5-6 students in a 3-bedroom house or a 5-bedroom house. Sometimes they're not the greatest houses, and that's where they can stay. So in this, a developer has figured out, well, let's build condominiums for student housing. Because condominiums, for the sake of condominiums, we don't need any more of those in Ottawa right now, right? The market's saturated. But if we create a condominium project that investors could buy the condominiums, and they're rented and managed automatically and rented to students, and they're filled up, they sell out really quickly. But for this investor to build these units, he needs some upfront money. And the upfront money, the banks, since 2008, when there was the big crash in the US and everything, the banks decided we're not going to loan money for the upfront soft costs, like engineering, architectural, sales, people, all of that stuff. They won't loan the money for that anymore. They'll only loan construction mortgage money, and then mortgage money when it's completely done. So where are they going to get the soft costs? So they put all their money into buying the land. So they spend $6-10 million on the land, and now they need another $6 or $8 million for soft costs, and it's hard to come up with that. So what they've created is a syndicated mortgage, so that people, the average person who has $25,000 or more, can invest in this and put it into the syndicated mortgage. Now that money is registered against title on the land, so you actually have collateral just like a bank would. The developer has money, their own skin in the game. They have money in the land, so they don't want to default on the loan, because if they do, the loan takes precedence on the property and they get title of the property. So they don't want to do that. Now the beauty is, because this money is a little harder for the builder to get, they'll pay a premium interest-wise. So right now, they're going to pay 2% per quarter. It's a 3-year term they're looking for. 2% per quarter, so that's 8%. And then they're going to pay a 4% bonus interest per year at the end of the 3-year term when they pay back the principal. So in total, you're getting 36% on your investment over 3 years. Now we know if you're getting a 36% investment over 3 years, 36 goes into 72 how many times?
So that would be 2 times.
2 times.
So 6 years.
So it's going to be a little over 6 years to double your money. Probably closer to 7, because the compound rate effect.
You'd have to put that money back in order for it to compound.
Into another project. Yes. Yeah, and same thing with the 2% interest.
Yeah, you'd have to be putting it back in. That. If you're spending it, obviously...
It might take a little longer for your money to double.
It won't double, because you're spending it.
Okay.
It'll stay the same.
All right. So 36% over 3 years, that if you do compound interest, it's going to be somewhere around that 10% range. So very few investments right now are making double digits. and this is relatively secure. It's in real estate. It's local. It's in the Ottawa area. The one that they've presented right now is at 774 Bronson. They're building a student housing there, and the beauty is it's about 14-minute walk to Carleton University from the corner of Bronson and Carling. And so the students will love it. It's high security building, high durable products, because students sometimes are a little tougher on.
They're hard on stuff. I have student housing as well, and they're hard on stuff.
Now this is higher end. They've done the research as to which students can afford to rent it and how many are willing, and we're only providing a very, very small portion of the saturation. You know what I mean? Like there's 10,000 students needed, or beds for 10,000 students. We're doing like 400 beds. So it's not really taking a big chunk out of that demand. So I believe it's going to sell pretty quickly. And we don't sell it. I just introduce the people that do sell this product. And the beauty is it's TFSA eligible. Many people now have, $36,000 or whatever availability in their TFSA. And so you're going to earn like that amount of interest and not pay any tax on it, ever.
Which is incredible.
It's a beautiful thing.
Especially for an interest-bearing product. Now,
and same thing with RSPs. It's RSP eligible as well.
If you've never heard of this kind of product before, most likely you're not like, oh, this makes so much sense. You're probably like, what? You can, So if that's you, then you need to come to the Wealth Building Workshop.
That's right.
And come get more info.
Education in action builds wealth, right? Most people invest in things that they don't know anything about, and the difficulty with that is you usually get burned. I've been burned in everything I've invested in that I didn't know enough about it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's two ways to learn. You can learn, there's probably more, but we'll go with two. So there's two ways to learn. You can either learn from people who've done it before you, right? Or you can go make the mistakes yourself.
Yeah, School of Hard Knocks, I've been there.
So,
I got a degree.
I'm not sure I'd be so proud of that degree, but hey,
well, no,
we'll put it on your wall.
It is a good degree because it's evaluated failure that will produce future successes. If you have a failure and you don't evaluate it and you don't get the degree, so you failed
for the sake
of failing.
To
learn the lesson in the failure, then you'll repeat that or you'll repeat something similar. So I think it's a good thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then for the people who are like, you know what, I totally get this, I really want to understand more, who do I talk to? Well, give Ken a call or send him an email, and he'll get you connected with the right people.
That's right. And you can call me at 613-860-4663, or you can send an email to info@dekkerteam.com. And the subject line, just put student housing, and we'll know what you're looking for. Yeah, so that would be great. Love coming up with interesting ideas of building wealth, taking people outside of their box, right? Because some people say, well, I want a safe investment. Every investment has risks. And you might say to me, well, no, a GIC doesn't have risk. No, actually a GIC is it's guaranteed to lose money right now because the risk factor with a GIC is the low interest rate and the higher level of inflation. So inflation eats the buying power of that money. So you're actually losing buying power over time. And you can't make that up with more time.
No, it just gets worse.
It just gets worse. The only way you can make that up is with a higher rate of return. And so we teach about this stuff at the Wealth Building Workshop. And it's fun because it's interactive. You can ask questions.
Yeah.
I even tell the odd joke, try and keep it, well, not try. I do. I make it funny, a little bit funny. Some people groan, some people laugh. It's all good.
That's good.
Yeah. And some people poke fun at me, and that's okay too. I can take it. I can dish it out. I can take it. Yeah. So we've got so when is that investment?
So that is on the 14th.
14th.
At 6. And you do need to register, and it does have a cost of $25.
And you will get a gift if you show up on time.
Or early. And we're there to talk to you, so come on out early.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. How early could they come?
Ooh, shoot, I should have said that.
Maybe 5:30.
5:30 is the earliest. Don't come at 4:30.
No, because we might
We're
be eating
working.
dinner or something.
Yeah, we're either eating or working.
All right. Now we got a couple properties that make great investments for somebody that we're going to talk about. The first one is out in Smiths Falls. Now you've sold a few properties in Smiths Falls, and so have I this year.
Yeah,
It's funny
it's an
because
interesting market.
for 21 years I've been in real estate. For 20 years, never sold a house in Smiths Falls. And then this year I've done 5.
And why do you think that is?
Because of their shifting market, there's now value there that some people can buy a certain type of house, or they have family close by or whatever, and they're willing to make the commute if they're commuting. Or if they're retired, it's a great place for retirement because there's lots of services. There's a hospital there, there's lots of retail, but what they're losing is some of their manufacturing plants and that sort of thing. But it's driving prices of houses down. Now the people aren't moving out of town, so there's still rental. There's still a certain level of rental, high demand of rental. And so you can buy investment properties at a great price. Like this one, for instance, is $325,000. It's a 3-story red brick, beautiful building, wraparound porch on the main street, right across from the locks. And the top 2 floors have a 2-bedroom apartment in each floor. And then the main floor has a bar. It was a pub. It has been closed for a couple of years, but it could be a great spot for a craft beer brewery kind of place. Could be a gift store, a clothing store, anything like that. Think anything that's touristy, because it's right across from the locks. So the boaters are there. Restaurant, anything like that would work great. And that's only $325,000.
Wow.
The next opportunity is a property. This is an area of the city that most people don't know about. It's kind of between Prince of Wales and Maryville, just south of Hunt Club. So there's a pocket of residential there. They're on bigger lots. This one actually is on a septic system. It's got about a third of an acre. Now, a third of an acre, for you that aren't familiar with that, it's about 100 by 150 is a third of an acre. And wonderful property, beautiful split level, 3-bedroom house, the single car garage, and that's for $425,000. And you're right in the city for $425,000, and you got a huge lot, beautiful big trees. It's really quite spectacular. It's well worth looking at. And you can just give us a call if you're interested in finding out more of either one of those properties at 613-860-4663. Now, if you've got any questions you'd like us to talk about in future shows, if you have any general real estate questions, or maybe you need a contractor, you need someone to do plumbing, electrical, flooring, whatever, the Dekker Team has all of that available for you. Just give us a call at 613-860-4663. And thanks for joining us on the Inside Track on Real Estate with the Dekker Team.
Bye for now.
What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you.